This video is brought to you by Squarespace. We'll talk more about them later. Not too long ago, I posted a video about my journey to become an entrepreneur. And I got a lot of comments on that video about wanting to become an entrepreneur, wanting to start a business or side hustle, but you're not really sure what to do, how to start. And what I learned in life recently, especially with the hurricane situation, is that a lot of times no one really know what to do. A few days before the hurricane hit, I walked around, talked to other business owners who were nearby, asking them what they were going to do, because obviously they were there way before me. This was the first time that I had to deal with a hurricane as a business owner and as a person. And the answers that I got from most of them were kind of like, no one really knew what they were going to do. And I think the problem is we've been taught at the young age that if we wanted to do something, we have to know exactly what to do. We have to figure out the outcome before we allow to even start. Otherwise, you just haven't really figured it out. It's just too much risk. Then it's better to just not do it. And I think this kind of mindset does really hold a lot of us back from reaching our full potential. I want to read you this quote that I came across from the book that I've been reading as part of my 30 days research, and it's the book called The Principles by Ray Dalio. It reads, "You may not know a clear path, but your ability to deal with not knowing is more important than whatever it is that you know. What exists in the state of not knowing is much greater and more exciting than anything you already know." So really taking away from this, the biggest lesson that I learned is that we need to value doing things when sometimes we don't know how, or when we're not ready. Being seen as being stupid, because sometimes we're doing things that we don't actually know what to do, or feeling stupid from time to time. I think a lot of us are taught to not embarrass ourselves, don't ask stupid questions, don't admit when we don't know something. It's like we are programmed to think that the only way to go through life is to know it all and never ever having to admit when we don't know something. But the thing is, in order to know and in order to be right, the first thing that we need to do really is to find out the facts. And in that process, you need to be vulnerable enough to show that you're not sure or you don't know the facts. And I've learned that the times that I've learned the most is the time I am willing to feel a little bit foolish, being seen as being a little bit stupid, or feeling out of depth. In May this year, I bought a dog grooming salon, and even though it's only been a couple of months, I already managed to set it up in the way that it fulfills how I want to design my life, where I delegate the operation tasks to my team. And I will talk more about why I managed to do this later on in this video, so stick around. But for now, I am going to go into the shop and check in with the team and see how they're doing. Before I go, actually, I'm gonna make myself a coffee, just because I prefer my own coffee than actually buying one out. And I might try to put whey protein in my coffee today, just to experiment and see how that goes. Pretty good. High protein coffee. Cheers. When I started my entrepreneurship journey, I had zero experience in dog grooming industry. I bought this business not knowing a thing about it, but I knew it was something I needed to do to fulfill my dream of being an entrepreneur and growing my wealth. I asked tons of questions, even if they sounded silly. I trusted my gut even when I wasn't sure of the path, and in just 5 months, I have set it up almost exactly to how I envisioned it. And now I am ready to expand. So the key message that I want to give you is, if you're thinking of starting something new, you don't have to wait until you have all the answers. Alright guys, it is 10:30 and I caught up with the girls. Everything is going fine for today. So I am pretty much done from the shop for today. And at the moment, I'm getting a little bit peckish, so I'm going to find something to eat. particular challenge when it comes to buying a business of someone else is the branding. When you start a business, you can brand it exactly the way that you want it, but when you buy the business off from someone else, there is already a brand that existed before. There is already a customer base, there's already a perception and reputation that comes with it. So I've been working with a brand strategist in order to rebrand, and that's what I'll be working on for the rest of the day today. But if you have the brand nailed down, the next thing you need is a good website, and that's something that Squarespace can help you with. When I entered my solopreneur era, I knew that the first thing that I needed was a good website. And back then, I think it was 2022, the platform that I used for my first website was Squarespace because it just made sense. It's simple to set up, it's intuitive, and somewhere along the line, I thought I could manage my own website, but that was such a bad idea. I just don't have time to maintaining the website, managing endless plugins. I would rather spend those time creating content and managing my business. And if you're like me, someone who isn't so technical, but you need a good looking, reliable website, I highly recommend Squarespace. They are now also introducing Design Intelligence, a powerful tool that combines 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise and cutting-edge AI technology. This feature will help you unlock your creative potential so you can build a beautiful, personalized website that is catered to your unique needs. Head to squarespace.com/reinventingpoppy to save 10% off, and thank you Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Guys, it is so lovely out here in the morning. It's so peaceful, beautiful. It's incredible what nature has got to offer. Sometimes I feel like we should be more grateful, especially when it comes to these little small moments that we need to treasure. I want to touch on burnout a little bit because it's something that a lot of people on social media has been talking about. I feel like I was close, very close to being burnout. I mean, as you can imagine, when I moved from the UK to the US, I didn't just move country, but at the same time I also took over a business that I didn't have experience in, so it was a really stressful time. And not only that, I was still trying to find time to post on YouTube. And I remember one of my posts on Instagram was about how many things I got done in one day. Everything was just so hectic. Everything had to happen at the same time. And I think a lot of you, especially those who are into self-improvement, try to better yourself, you might resonate, because regardless of where you are in life, you might not be a business owner, but if you are someone who strives for better, someone who tries to better yourself, then more often than not, you are going to have to push yourself into doing things that you've never done before, and it may be hard and it could potentially lead to burnout. There are a lot of people on YouTube talking about, just grind and push through and avoid that sense of exhaustion, but I actually disagree. I think burnout is talked about so casually now, but it is actually a very serious thing, because it's not just about, feeling tired or stressed, but it is a deep sense of overwhelming and exhaustion, and a couple of days rest or a week rest may not be enough. Sometimes it will take you months and years in order to recover from burnout. So I think it's really important for us to be self-aware about how we feel and whether we are pushing ourselves in a healthy level or are we pushing ourselves way too much where it could potentially lead to burnout? And this is why I always say that being self-aware is one of the most important skills that you can have. You know, you need to protect your peace by setting boundaries, by organizing your schedules in the way that you still have time to take care of yourself, doing activities that will bring you that sense of peace. And as a business owner, the way that I learned to avoid burnout is to delegate. I've been in small business for 5 or 6 months now, and I see a lot of small business owners, they stay small because they want to do everything by themselves, and it's for good reason. Could be either to save money or because they don't have people that they can trust. But the issue is that when you do that, then you are working in the business and not on the business, and that is a huge difference. And this is why not all business owners are entrepreneurs, but I consider myself to be an entrepreneur because I focus on working on the latter, which is working on the strategy, growing the business, and I delegate the daily operational stuff to my very capable and incredible team. But if you are a business owner and you do want to do both, working in the business and on the business at the same time, I can almost guarantee you it is just a matter of time until you reach burnout. And maybe you're not a business owner, but you are probably someone that at least there is one person that depend on you, whether that be your dog or your parents or your partner or your children. So in order for you to show up to be the best version of yourself for them, you first have to be a little selfish by making sure that you don't reach that point of burnout. Guys, it's such a beautiful day, and I think I'm just going to enjoy this moment with drizzle. So I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.